Yo, what's good, YouTube? Zamcro here, aka Scoop, back with the International Trainers League Season 5, week number 8, and we're taking on a divisional opponent in Nick and his Texas Tyrantrums. He is 4-3, and we're 5-2. And like I said, this is a divisional match, so we need a win here. We are on top of our conference right now, but if he wins, he would take over our conference, depending on Aki's match. But yeah, so we played in week 2, and he got a 2-0 win versus us, where Jolteon and Hoopa Unbound just went ham on our team. So that being said, talk about his team. It has changed a little bit since the last time we faced. He has Hoopa Unbound, which is still his Z-move user. Clefable, Heatran, Salamence. He's not going to get rid of that core. Serena, Scolipede, Jolteon, Golisopod, and Jellicent are all the same. And I think he had traded for Sock and Steelix. Correct me if I'm wrong. He may have got Jellicent over Hariyama and Braviary. I'm not sure which ones he traded, but he does have Jellicent, Sock, and Steelix now. That being said, we of course have Victini, Manaphy, Shaman, Zapdos, Cofagrigus, Nidoqueen, Florges, Lucario, which is our Z-move user, Steelix, Dredagon, and Oranguru. That being said, his team matches up really well against us. Obviously, he has Clefable for setup, Manaphy. He has Heatran for Victini. Can just switch it on my V creates and things like that. He has Speed Pass, Scolipede, which is threatening. Jolteon just outspeeds my entire team. Jellicent's pretty solid. Hoopa, I have no switch into Hoopa besides Florges, which gets wrecked by like banded psychic type moves. But I do build a pretty fun squad this week. I have a Adamant Life Orb Weavile that is set to outspeed Hoopa, because I can outspeed Scolipede, but it can get this Protect and Speed Boost. So I didn't really think outspeeding that would be necessary. I can't outspeed the Jolteon. I could outspeed the Salamence, but Life Orb Ice Shard does 73% min, unless he's like bulky or has the Yachi Berry, but I can scout for that. I do have knockoff, Icicle Crash Pursuit, and Ice Shard. Quite a bit of HP investment because I don't need that much speed, and I am adamant, like I said, so I think Sneasel can put in the work, especially if everything's weakened. Next up's going to be physically defensive Zapdos with just a little speed investment. I have U-turn, so I can take a hit from Hoopa and U-turn out and knock it out, potentially. I have Roar for the Scolipede. If it's like setting up subs or protects and baton passes or something like that, I can roar it out. Roost for longevity, of course, and Defog to support Sneasel and my Zapdos, of course. I don't bring Victini, so maybe I could have brought something else other than Defog, but I just thought Defog's hazard removal is nice in general. Do pack the leftovers and pressure, so maybe can stall something out of something, I don't know. But yeah, basically there for Scolipede, and since he does bring Mints, it's there kind of for Mints too, and can take a hit from Hoopa. Next up we have Lucario, which is a Jolly variant to outpace the Hoopa Unbound. Swords Dance, Close Combat, Iron Tail, and Extreme Speed. I know Iron Tail is not super accurate or anything like that, so I just do have the Stellium Z, so I can use like a Corkscrew Crash to ensure, like if it's game dependent, I would just click that instead, so I can knock out maybe the Salamence or the Scolipede or the Clefable if it's game dependent. Otherwise, I'll just click Close Combat and Extreme Speed, and I might risk Iron Tail if I have to, but hopefully I don't have to. But yeah, this is like a late game cleaner. If I can set up a Swords Dance on something like Clefable or heat ran on the switch or something like that, or predicting Salamence to come in and intimidate me, I can set up a Swords Dance and then maybe clean up with extreme speed if everything's weakened. That being said, my next mon is Florges. It is fully physically defensive with the leftovers this time instead of the bright powder. I packed Moonblast, Hidden Power Ground, Wish, and Aromatherapy. I don't want to be toxic on any of my mons, and I don't want to be T-waved by the Clef on any of my mons. So I do pack the Aromatherapy. Wish just to potentially wish up some things like Manaphy or Zapdos or Nidoqueen even. And Moonblast for general stab. It does neutral damage to everything minus the Scolipede and the Heatran, which Hidden Power Ground hits Heatran super effectively ×4 and hits Scolipede for neutral damage, so it can potentially break subs unless he's like really bulky. Next up is going to be Nidoqueen. It's my Stealth Rock setter with the Shuckerberry. Designated lead. Since he does have two potential leads, being Heatran and Clefable, I can scare him out, throw off my rocks, and then if he brings something in, perhaps I don't really want to set up Toxic Spikes because he has a Scolipede, but once the Scolipede goes down, I wouldn't mind setting him up, and then I just have Dual Stab, and the only thing that kind of can beat my Dual Stab that he brings is the Heatran if it's on an air balloon. So I wouldn't be able to touch it if it was on an air balloon, but it does hit everything else on his team for at least neutral damage. So I didn't really need any extra coverage. And I'm pretty speedy. I think I outspeed a max speed Serena. Pretty bulky as well. And then I have enough special attack investment to where Sure Force ensures Earth Power OHKOs the Heatran unless it's Shuckerberry, and Sludge Wave 2-hit KOs max Spadef, Clefable, no matter what, unless he has like a Calm Mind up. And last but not least is my win condition. It is a Calm Mind, Substitute, Scald, Skill Swap, Manaphy, max speed so I can speed tie with the Salamence. A lot of defensive investment with a lot of HP investment as well. This thing switches into Golisopod and sets up a sub. Can Calm Mind alongside Clefable. I debated on the Wakanberry, but I thought Leftovers was better since I'm running Substitute. And I got Skill Swap so I can take away Jellicent's potential Water Absorb and Clefable's potential Unaware ability. So that if he sets up Calm Minds beside me and he's going to be unaware of my Calm Minds, I can take his Unaware, then I'd be unaware of his Calm Minds, and I could set up Calm Minds and then just win with Scald. At +3, I KO everything after rocks minus the Salamence, and Clef if it doesn't have Unaware, which I do predict to have Unaware. Last time he brought Magic Guard and it almost bit him in the ass, so I do predict him to be unaware of this game. And that's it. So he brings Clef, Hoopa, Heatran, Scolipede, Salamence, and Jolteon. So I know that Jolteon could be a problem. So I want to keep Nidoqueen healthy, but I also want to get my rocks up immediately so that Sneasel can always revenge kill Salamence if it isn't Yachi Berry. That being said, that's exactly what I'm going to lead with. I'm going to lead with Nidoqueen, and he leads with Salamence. So I have the Shuckerberry, but I kind of want to keep my Shuckerberry in case Scolipede has Earthquake or Heatran has Earth Power. That being said, setting up my rocks here is not that important to start off the match since he does lead with Mints. I'm going to hard switch into Florges. Take whatever he wants to go for. He goes for the Earthquake as predicted. Looks to be very strong. Looks to be adamant. I'm going to fire off a Hidden Power. I know he wasn't going to stay in right there, and he doesn't have a solid switch into Moonblast besides Scolipede and Heatran. So I figured I would go for the Earth Power, or the Hidden Power Ground, predicting the Heatran to come out. In this match, I do have to play very aggressive to win because of the matchup is so poor, I should say. So I do fire off the Hidden Power Ground right there. I could go for it again, but I'm actually just going to throw off a Wish as he goes for the Lava Plume. Maybe trying to predict my Manaphy to come in and maybe snag a burn or something. We'll throw off a Wish here and go for the Hidden Power Ground again as he switches into the Hoopa. And here he's going to double into Clefable as I go for the Moonblast. So pretty good play. Here I can hard switch into Nidoqueen though and get up my rocks as he actually sets up his rocks as well. But I am going to get my rocks up here. And I am Sugarberry, so I eat this Earthquake up for breakfast and can go for the Earth Power. He does show Life Orb. So a bit unfortunate there with the critical hit. I didn't know it spread during the game, but I did acknowledge that the crit was unfortunate because it is. I was near. Well, I had a lot of special attack investment with sheer force, and he showed to be Life Orb, so I don't think he was bulky, although he could be. So I don't exactly know if that crit actually mattered since it was a neutral attack, but nonetheless, I do knock it out there. I think the only thing that would be different was on the following turn I would have hard switched into my Zapdos and then potentially roosted or U-turned out, predicting him to switch, or if he set up a sub or something I would go for the Roar. But yeah, I just was able to snag a knockout here without having to fear the next Earthquake. So I don't think it was game changing or anything like that, but we'll follow on into the battle here. He does bring out Salamence. I have a couple plays I can make here, but I'm going to hard switch into my Florges again as he goes for the Earthquake. And now here he's going to reveal Iron Tail and knock me out. So pretty solid prep. Very risky there. And I'm going to bring Zapdos in, and I'm just going to go for the Roar, predicting him to either Dragon Dance or hard switch, predicting my Hidden Power Ice. And he actually stays in and goes for the Dragon Dance, and I roar him out into Hoopa, and I reveal that I'm faster and go for the U-turn and knock out the Hoopa with just a Oko. So very nice there. I can bring back in my Nidoqueen, and this invites in. I thought it would invite in Salamence, but he actually reveals that he's Speedy Tran and knocks me out. See, what I didn't want was Salamence to come in for free. And I didn't want Jolteon to come in. So he brings in Heatran, which is actually pretty solid for me, as I can click Substitute here. And if he doesn't have the Roar, I kind of just win the game right here. So I go for the sub, and he reveals Toxic. So no Roar, potentially. I go for the Calm Mind here, and he goes for the Earth Power. So I know he doesn't have Roar now, so I'm just going to keep setting up here. Try to get as much HP back as I can with leftovers, between sub, leftovers, and Calm Minding over and over. I think I can just potentially just win the game outright. He does hard switch into Salamence here, gets the Intimidate off. It doesn't really matter. It actually doesn't even go through sub, so I'm actually going to be able to go for the Scald here. Potentially a Speed Tie. I don't know if he was Jolly, max speed, but if he is, I do win 2 Speed Ties. Knock him out with Scald into Scald, and there he brings out the Jolteon. Probably going to Volt Switch out because Thunderbolt wouldn't kill me from that range, but I did some calcs, and he's not Specs because Specs does way more than 31. So I thought he might be Expert Belt. I go for the sub here, which was a misplay on my part. I should have went for the skill swap first, but I didn't, and it's actually going to bite me in the ass because he is unaware, and he's not aware of my special defense increases. So here I'm going to try to catch him on the Moonlight. Right here, I go for the skill swap, predicting him to go for a Moonlight. He does go for the Moonlight, so I'm going to be able to take his unaware ability away. So now he's going to be doing a whole lot less to me with the Moonblast, and I'm going to be able to 2-hit KO him. And now he has to bring in Jolteon. Go for the Thunderbolt. It wasn't a roll. Definitely knocks me out at that range because of the Expert Belt. And here I'm just going to put everything in Lucario's range, bring in my Sneasel, go for the Ice Shard, Life Orb Adamant Ice Shard, puts him in extreme speed range as he reveals Signal Beam, and Lucario is able to pick him off with the extreme speed. And now I'm just going to click Close Combat, knock out the Heatran even though it's Choppleberry. So Lucario and Manaphy pulling through there, and Sneasel doing work too. I don't know if I was Jolly, if he would have been in range of the extreme speed or not. I'm not real sure how much. I didn't count for Jolly since I was Adamant. So just my natures and dual priority coming through there. Really happy with this win. Really happy with how the game went. I think if I didn't go for the turn 2 hidden power ground, predicting the Heatran to come in, I don't think I would have won this match, because Heatran would have been, it would have had a lot more HP, and it wouldn't have died from the close combat due to the Choppleberry, and then it could 1v1 my Zapdos, because all I had was U-turn and Roost. I could have maybe potentially stalled it out, but it did have Toxic, so I really doubt that. So I think just playing aggressive actually won me this game, even though it's a really bad matchup. Anyways, that being said, we move on to 6-2 with a +8 differential, and we take complete control of our division now, and of our conference. But we do have another divisional match coming up next week against the Wisconsin Weezing, coached by Helmy, which is always a good game. He beat us in week 1, so we're looking for some revenge. We are on a 6-game win streak, so hopefully we can ride that and hopefully keep winning and keep winning. But yeah, good game, Nick. Really fun. Check out RecklessBat if you don't already know of him or follow him or subscribe to him or whatever. You really should. He puts up some good content. He's a pretty solid battler. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. Just really, really happy with my prep and my performance this week. So hopefully we can ride that into next week. Anyways, that's it. If you like, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all the good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.